Yo, my beats, they are hard.
Hey, hello, good evening. Welcome to another live episode of the BCSN SportsWrap. Bryan and A.D Drew here. 9 years running, the longest HBCU sports talk weekly show on the interwebs. I like to say that's our little claim to fame. Drew, how you doing, man?
Bro, you was with me this weekend. You know how I'm doing, man.
Back in the home studio after a very, very, very long weekend, man. Track meets are not for the weak at heart. They are not for the weak at heart.
Yeah, and I hope people caught the simulcast that we did here on the Black College Sports Network, simulcasted from the SIAC network to the Black College Sports Network. So I hope people were able to like I say, catch a little bit of it, catch your favorite student athletes, catch some of your favorite teams there at the Edwin Moses track. And Bryan, great job of you guys on the interview that you guys, the multiple interviews you did, but one in particular, the one with Edwin, man, with Edwin Moses, man, that was. It was the longest interview you guys did, but it didn't seem that long because it was so doggone interesting.
Yeah, appreciate that. Really a pleasure to have an opportunity to meet him. I started doing a little bit of research back when I was told that we were going to have an opportunity to talk to him, and learned some interesting things.
Dr. Edwin Moses.
Correct. and then even learned a few more things during the course of the interview. But really positive experience myself. Shout out to Mike Shepard, who was in the box with me as well, and on the call with the interview with not only Dr. Edwin Moses, but Coach Chandra Cheeseborough of Tennessee State, those two were Olympic teammates back in 1976. And then Christopher Brown, who was a 5-time Olympian for Jamaica in the 2000 era. Won, I think, 2 gold, a silver, and a bronze. So, just having and he's now the coach at Clayton State, Division II. Where's Clayton State? Atlanta metro area or outside of Atlanta?
Yes, in Atlanta metro area. It's maybe 20 minutes from the airport here in Atlanta metro area. Matter of fact, when we played the SIAC basketball tournament, maybe one exit from Clayton State.
Yeah. Great people to talk to. We're hopefully, I think Monday, Tuesday, we'll have the interviews kind of chopped up and be able to kind of rerun those as podcasts. Some really, really good stuff that I hope that we can share, especially when we get to the Dr. Moses, Edwin Moses stuff. Learned about a documentary that is in the works. Obviously, learning that as we're talking to him, Drew, it's the 50th, literally 50 years from the day that he won his Olympic trial as a 20-year-old junior. I think it was a junior or maybe a sophomore at Morehouse College in order to be able to go compete in the 76 Olympics. 50 years to the day. That was kind of like surreal. And then obviously learning or being there to share the announcement that the relays, the Morehouse relays going forward will be named the Edwin Moses Morehouse relays. Just, I mean, really, really cool, down to earth person. And man, I can't wait to watch the documentary. That, you know, I hope Black College Sports Network gets a chance to be a part of that process of sharing that documentary, because just in hearing him talk about it, seeing the trailer for it, you know, Drew, he even said that documentary, which has been shown at various film festivals, he said that it's come in first place in 10 of 13 film festivals, you know, and these are film festivals across the world that they have submitted that documentary into. So, man, what just some awesome stuff. Yeah, got to give a shout out also, Drew, to HBCU track and field on Twitter for recognizing. I'm gonna read the tweet. If I could have found it in time, I would have posted it. But he said, and this is a person that we've talked to on our show on the ONG. He said, "Great energy today by the gentlemen that were announcing on the live stream of the Morehouse relays. Track and field deserves the same excitement as you see in other sports when commentating." Bam. Job well.
Pat yourself on the back on that one. Where's the applause button on here, Brian? You good at doing that one. Where's the applause button at? Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Give yourself a hand, man.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was cool stuff. Cool stuff, man. So I'm really, really proud to be part of that. Yeah, go ahead.
I was like, can I get back to Edwin Moses? And I don't think a lot of people actually know the story. The track at Morehouse College is called Edwin C. Moses Track at BT Harvey Stadium. But Edwin Moses never ran on that track, everybody.
Right.
And I don't think everybody really understands the story. And I don't want to get too deep into it, because I want you to go back and listen to the clip when Bryan has time to post the clip, and I'll send the clip to Bryan so that he can chop it up and post it how he wants to. But yeah, it's just a great story of how they used to have to train, and then because he was a physics major at Morehouse, the story of how he used physics and some other sciences to help him not only decrease the number of steps that he took between the hurdles, but with his nutrition and diet and other things. It was such a great story in between the races that you guys were able to get into. You have to sit and listen to it, and you may have, Bryan, you may have to put it out in two segments, because it
was
did
it that
get
long? How long? I didn't even get a sense of how long it was. How long was it?
Bryan,
30 minutes.
It was doing one of them distance races, and anybody who knows at a track meet, when you have collegiate men, women, high school boys, girls in those distance races, the day gets a little long, and y'all took up all that time. I don't remember what race it was, but it was
after, you know what? It was after the 400 hurdles, because we actually talked to Coach Cheesebro, and yeah, via Matt, shout out to the Jacksonville Reebalt. She made sure we had to make sure to recognize that she went to Reebalt, so she's a Reebalt grad. And she's from Jacksonville, and so yeah, we talked to her during the 400 meter hurdles, which obviously that was the event that Moses won 122 consecutive races 9 years, 9 months, 9 days.
But
that's how long his streak lasted.
yeah, 999. But the other thing, he didn't just qualify in the hurdles in 76. You got to go back and
Correct.
listen to the story.
Correct.
Go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that. Go
Yeah.
listen to the story. But Brian, last thing on track, I had the most by the way moment when you guys were interviewing Edwin Moses, and I told you about this afterwards when we was outside, sitting outside the press box. Uh, have a young lady, student intern, working for me, and when you have people like that, you try to make sure that this young generation actually understands who some of these people are and the history behind them. And I was like, "Do you know who that man is next door in the booth over there?" And of course, she said no. And I was, I said, I went on to explain who he was and everything else. And she's like, "Oh, I got a cousin who won some medals in the Olympics." I'm like, "Oh yeah." Like in what sport? She's like in track and field.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, "Oh, really?" It's like, "Who's your cousin?" Wilma Rudolph. What?
Be like, who your family is? What? Exactly.
I'm like, your cousin is just as famous as that man is next door. I don't know if you realize this.
Yeah. Yeah. Part of the Tiger Bells of Tennessee State.
Yes.
So really cool stuff. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah, just by the way, sometime in the 60s, and she won some medals, and
yeah, they just did the thing. And yeah, like I said, I won't share anymore. I'll just wait till we can get the podcast set up, and then I can kind of work in some graphics. So hopefully I can find some time to get all that set up, because I want to be able to release that right. So I got to find some good graphic images and some stuff to be able to use with that. But overall, great experience, and appreciate again HBCU Track and Field on Twitter for shouting us out, and hopefully the numbers were good and people appreciated what they saw.
I have the numbers report for you guys tomorrow.
Hey, cool. Well, also going on right now is the BCSN SportsWrap Madness Challenge. March Madness is happening, coming towards the end. Do you know what happened on this day in 1982, Drew?
The shot?
The first shot. Yes. The 1982 Michael Jordan shot from the it probably would have been about the 3-point line, or maybe inside the 3-point line, but there wasn't a 3-point line back then in 82. Just about just past the short corner. Baseline jump shot, you might call it. I don't know if it was a true baseline jump shot, but
it was from 16 feet.
Yeah, 16, 17 feet. So just inside what would have been a 3-point. It makes you wonder, would Jordan have shot a 3 had the 3-point line been there, or would he still have shot it inside the arc? But anyway, Jordan hits the shot as a freshman on a team with James Worthy, Sam Perkins. Who else was on that team?
Was Black on it? Black was the point guard on that team.
Those were the names I remember. Perkins and I remember Perkins and Worthy. Because Worthy was the senior.
No, Worthy was a junior. Worthy left a year early.
Oh, okay. He was a junior. Okay.
Yes. Worthy was a junior. Perkins was a sophomore, I believe.
Yes, because him and Jordan came out the same year, and Jordan left early as a junior, and Sam was a senior. Yeah, so Perkins was a sophomore. Jimmy Black, I guess, was the guard. And, of course, that was Georgetown. They were playing Georgetown. This was year 1 of Patrick Ewing at Georgetown. If I have that right. I think that was his – was it his freshman year, or that was Patrick's sophomore year?
They were both freshmen. Because Patrick was the number 1 pick the next year.
Oh, because he left early. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And you know who else was in that Final Four?
No, you're right. Hold on. Patrick stayed all 4 years, didn't
he? Yes.
Okay.
But you know who else was in that Final Four, Brian?
Who?
Some Nigerian guy by the name of Akeem Olajuwon.
Yes, yes,
Houston
because
made it in there.
and do you know who they lost to?
They lost to
Georgetown.
Georgetown, and I
Yes.
believe Louisville was the 4th team in that Final Four.
That I don't remember. You may be right. I don't remember who Carolina beat to get to the championship
I want to say
game.
it was Louisville.
But that
And
was
just the number of Hall of Famers and All-Stars who played in that Final Four and in that championship game. David Wingate, Reggie Williams, Patrick Ewing. Was Coach Broadnax on that team?
yes, Broadnax was part of Georgetown at that time. Yes.
Yes.
Somebody, a Blue Jacket
Fred
brings
Brown.
up.
Yes, Fred Brown was on that team.
What do you think is the more memorable moment down the stretch? The Jordan shot or the Freddie Brown pass to was it to Worthy?
Yes.
By mistake. What do you think is the more memorable? Even looking back on it, how many years has it been? 40, 44, 42
you
years.
know what was actually more memorable to me? Even than Michael Jordan shot.
No. What?
Patrick Ewing intentionally goaltended the first 4 North Carolina shots in that game.
Very little okay. And you know why they did that, right?
Yeah, for intimidation.
Yes. Yes. He was told, from my understanding or reading Sports Illustrated, that was on purpose. That was on purpose to sort of take away any kind of thought Carolina might have had. We're going to the basket. No,
you're not coming in this paint.
Yes, we're going to let you know that every time that you
come in the paint.
Yeah, that we're going to just swat the ball out of there. Awesome intimidation. I don't know if it worked, but it was just the strategy. Yeah, the 82 team. Now, you know what's interesting, not many people talk about this. This was the 82 team. I think this might have been 1 year after North Carolina was in the national championship game the year before. They lost to Isaiah. And I think that was the weekend Reagan got shot, if I'm not mistaken.
It was the year they lost.
Because that happened. And I think a lot of people wondered whether the game was going to be played that day or that evening, because Reagan had gotten shot earlier in the day, if I'm not mistaken. I'm done. My memory, and it's crazy that I remember all this.
You own it, man.
Yeah, yeah. Now, tomorrow, March 30th, is my favorite day, thinking back to 1987, when the shot 2 happened in New Orleans. the same end of the court, nearly the same spot as the shot 1, when a young man, a junior college transfer by the name of Keith Smart, knocks down a baseline jump shot over Syracuse to knock out Syracuse, and Indiana wins its 3rd national championship under Bob Knight, 5th overall. And that was my favorite one shining moment shot right there. But so anyway, fun memories. Okay, so let's take a look at the BCSN SportsWrap Challenge. I'm gonna pull up the share screen here, and let's just see who's in first place. Well, okay, so this is looking at it from my page screen. Oh, there's wait a minute, whose name is that? Who that there sitting there in first place? What?
You jumped me yesterday while we were in the broadcast booth.
The boy Coach Bryan is sitting in first place over A.D. Drew. Now, I know we're not, it's kind of ratchet when you're winning your own contest, right? But see, y'all got to do better. Y'all, everyone who joined the contest, y'all got to step your game up, because me and Drew, we do the thing. Now, I think Drew will pass me if the results of this Duke and UConn game really hold, because I did not have Duke in the Final Four. I do have 3 teams in the Final Four. I've got Arizona, Michigan, and who's the third one? Illinois.
All right.
And I had St. John's in this bracket beating Duke, and they should have beat Duke, but they let them off the hook. But anyway.
Right. And with a victory by Duke, I will also have 3 teams in the Final Four with
Yes.
Duke on one side and Arizona and Michigan on the other side. I
Yeah.
completely swung and missed in the South region, which is ironic. I started off 11-0 in that region and have not won a game since in that
Yeah.
region.
Now, who is this person here? Let me see. Let me go
Blue
to this
Jacket
bracket.
said Sleepy Floyd was a guard, not Broadnax. Broadnax was
Oh, okay.
the 84 and the
84.
85 team.
Broadnax came in 84. Okay. This person has a Final Four of.
Keep scrolling.
Ooh. Let me see.
There you go.
They too picked Illinois. Okay, so that person, so me,
They may
that
get all
person will be.
4.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. If he picked, did he pick Duke? Who did he pick?
Who did he pick?
No, his pick was UConn.
Okay.
His pick was UConn. So
he can get all 4.
he can if UConn wins. If UConn wins.
With the 16-point comeback in the second
Right.
half.
So
now.
he would jump into first place over you and me, but right now. And then let me see. Granny shot.
He wouldn't if Duke UConn wins, yes. If Duke wins, no.
Yes, that's what I meant to say. Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, and then there's a few other people. We'll wait to see what the results look like. Over on the women's bracket, let me see if I can go to the tournament.
We don't need to show that one, Brian.
Okay, we don't need to show that.
I mean, you can just for entertainment purposes only. It won't be for my entertainment though.
Women's tournament challenge. Let's see. Oh, you boys in? What am I in? I'm in 4th place there. Okay. Look at Rozier. Rozier's in 1st place with UCLA as his national champ. We're not going to talk about how disgusted I am about the outcome of that game. We're really not. But anyway.
Yeah, keep scrolling. You might get to me sooner or later.
Ooh, 10th down here. Yeah, I kind of went chalk, Drew. I think I went all. I think I picked all 1 seeds. Let me just kind of look here real quick. UCLA, UConn. Who did I pick on the other side? South Carolina. Oh, this is the one where I picked Michigan over Texas. So I don't know, Yeah, so there you go. All right. Well, that's there's your bracket challenge update. Live scoring right now. Duke is up, double digits? 17. Good Lord. Yeah. Well, it's going to take, I don't know. I don't know why UConn just doesn't have it this year, but they just don't.
Something about them Boozer twins.
Yeah, something about them. Okay. Let's get into some of a few of the stories from the past week that have caught our attention. From the past week. And let me make sure, let me pull up my info. We're going to start right from the national championship game of the NAIA as Langston University, after a semifinal win, played in their 2nd NAIA national championship game, 2nd in the last 3 years under Coach Chris Wright. For Chris Wright, it's the 3rd time that he's been in the national championship game, having previously led Talladega to the championship game the year before he moved over to Langston. And unfortunately, same opponent as 2 years ago for Langston. They would lose this year to Freed Hardeman. And it was the turnover bug that seemed to do Langston in. They would lose 76-71. If you watched, especially the first half, the litany of turnovers and mistakes just seemed to kind of bury the team in a tough spot to get out of. Orlando Thomas ended the season with another 20-point performance. He shot 55% from the field, had 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. In 6 tournament games, Thomas scored 20 points in 4 of them. He averaged 19.3 per game for the entire run. This update and information coming from HBCUsports.com. The Lions had committed 13 turnovers in the first half. What was the halftime score, do you recall, Drew?
I believe they were down 4 at the half, if I remember right.
Okay. It's okay. Looking at the article here, when the first half came to a close, Langston trailed 33-30, marking the 3rd time in the last 4 games that they went into halftime at a deficit. Langston opened the second half, scoring 6 unanswered points. Langston only committed 3 turnovers in the second half, so that was good. But their opponent, Freed Hardman, shot 64% from the field. Good God.
And
10 of
against
12
the Chris Wright coach team, that's
from inside
highly unusual.
Yeah, there was a 4-minute stretch without making a shot from the field for Langston, and Freed Hardman went on a 13-4 run during that stretch. Kind of hard when you go that long without scoring. I mean, that's a tough one. So Langston's season came to an end with a record of 22-6 in the regular season. They fell short of winning their 3rd straight Sooner Athletic Conference tournament championship, something to kind of take note of. You know, this was a year in which kind of a different year for them, where they didn't kind of win the tournament, but they still hosted a regional in the NAIA, and then they knocked off the 1 and 2 seed in the region, because I think they were the 4 seed in their region. So they took out the top in their quadrant, I guess is what they call it, right? They took out the quadrant's number 1 seed, and they took out the number 2 seed as well. So anyway, Langston's season overall, 29-8. So nearly a 30-win season for Langston. But what is, do a quick number search, Drew. What is Wright's 4-year record? I wonder if, see how quickly Google AI can throw that up. And then I'm curious to see how, you know, one of the things that we'll have to go in and look, I wanted to go back and do some research and kind of see how many returning players Langston has had over the last couple of years. Because I think these last 4 years have been kind of built with different leaders in each team, each season. So shout out to everybody in the chat for dropping in. Appreciate you guys.
So Bryan,
what you got?
Is it time to have the conversation?
I think we can, because seasons have come to an end. Let's do this. Did you pull up the did you do an aggregate yet for his 4-year total?
I'm looking at it. I'm looking for
while you do that, give me a pause for a second, because I wanna also make mention while Langston's season also came to an end, we got to make mention and give a shout out to Maryland Eastern Shore, who their postseason run, and I'm talking to Maryland Eastern Shore women, they were the last. Well, I can't call them the last, because maybe I can say the last Division I postseason team. They won their first WNIT game, first game over a P4 program, and then unfortunately lost in the second round, 61-42 at Youngstown State. This was earlier in the week. But so congratulations to Maryland Eastern Shore on a good season. And so while Drew kind of looks up, try to pulls that number together. it brings us still pulling it together.
Yeah.
Mike, you tripping. Langston to the SWAC in 2028. That's funny.
All right. Last 5 seasons.
Four at
153,
Langston.
153 and 27.
153 and 27.
I've got that's not quite right. Let me check that again. He was at Talladega what years? 20.
Well, I was just gonna focus in on Langston, make it easy on
Okay.
us. The last 4 seasons at Langston.
Last 4 at Langston.
Yeah.
He's won 29, 26, 35, and 31.
Okay, that's 121 wins.
Lost, and he has lost 16, 21.
So 121 and 21.
Yes.
So that is an 85% winning percentage, Drew. 85%.
So once again, I'm gonna ask: is it time to have the conversation?
Let's have the conversation, Drew.
There's a job open that just came open today.
Well, since you bring it up,
you brought it up to me because I didn't know.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. Oh, fresh off the wires. Alabama State head coach Tony Madlock has resigned at Alabama State. Of course, he was there 4 years. He led the Hornets to a first 4 victory just last season, 2025, in last year's tournament. And he has resigned the position. Now, according to Jeff Goodman of Field of 68, Madlock, who was the head coach for 4 seasons at Alabama State, is going to be on the bench joining Penny Hardaway's staff at Memphis. Madlock was an assistant previously at Memphis from 2018 to 2021. So he's kind of going back to where he was prior to coming over, Of course, Madlock won the SWAC tournament and the NCAA tournament win. He finished his past season 20-16, 10-6 in the SWAC. I would say he definitely had some pretty good seasons in the 4, but he took over for Mo Williams. Right?
Correct. He jumped ship and went to Jackson State.
Right. Alabama State was the school that gave Mo his first job. So what do you make of the move for, obviously the pay is probably going to be a lot different, a little bit more for Madlock. What do you make of the move before we go to the obvious question?
I mean, there's not a whole lot to make out of it. When you're a coach, you got to jump on these things when you're hot going. It's interesting. Most people usually, there has to be some type of relationship when you go from being a head coach to an assistant coach, even at a higher level. There has to be some kind of relationship that you have with the other person. So obviously he's leveraging that relationship to try to put himself and his family in a better position and his career in a better position. So I have no problems with it, Brian.
No, and I didn't mean to imply having a problem with it at all. I think Madlock's journey, I keep wanting to say Matlock, right? Because that's the show, or he's not Matlock, it's Madlock. But I think his journey is interesting because if you remember, technically when he left Memphis, he didn't go to Alabama State. You remember where he went?
I do not remember.
South Carolina State. who the year before, if I'm not mistaken, South Carolina State had one of the worst college basketball programs in America. Not America, in America. Like, I mean, they were battling with Mississippi Valley State for like, hey, anything you can do, we can do worse. That was like how bad South Carolina State was. And what he did in that year when he came back, when he came to South Carolina State, 15-16, 7-7 in conference play. Outstanding year. And I forgot what happened. There was something that happened there at South Carolina State, maybe a change in leadership.
South Carolina State was in turmoil then. I remember there was a change in the athletic director, maybe a couple of times, which ultimately led to Buddy Pugh taking over as athletic director because of some of the things that were going on there at South Carolina State.
Correct. So then of course, the job at Bama State opens up because Mo Williams jump shot. Ram Nation says South Carolina State, he didn't have a contract. Oh, well, that sounds familiar. Maybe one of those 1-year deals and you didn't have a multi-year deal. So, but yeah, so when Mo Williams left Bama State, kind of left them, I don't know, some people might think high and dry, but after 2 seasons, then he jumps over to Jackson State and opened the door for Madlock to come over to Alabama State. And in year 1, they were 8-23, 9th in the conference. Year 2, they were 13-19. Then the year that they won the conference tournament, that was the 20-16, 12-6 conference record. 4th in the conference regular season, but ended up winning the title. And this past year, they were 10-22, tied for 9th. So in the 4 years that he was at Alabama State, 51-80 total record, 33-39 in conference play. So while Alabama State is, thankful, and they, I like that they put the nice thank you graphic together. I don't think many people are going to be crying that he left. Just saying. So, he joins Penny's staff, maybe as a chance to kind of reboot and go there.
Bryan.
What?
Can't blame the man for taking D1.
No, not at all. No,
but
again,
let me finish. But given everything that was surrounding Penny this year, and the fact that Penny may not have, there was reports he wasn't going to have a job this year, after this year. I'm just saying, Bryan.
It could be a short stint, is what is kind of what you're hinting at? It could be a short ride there at Memphis.
And he may be the difference maker.
Maybe. So back to Chris Wright. I think the conversation that maybe you wanted to have, or maybe where you were going with that, is, does somebody like a Chris Wright perk up the ears or become a name of interest? Would Alabama State fans, could they see somebody coming from the NAIA level? Because people still have that stigma. People have that perception that
without a step in between, Bryan, is that
correct.
What you're saying?
Yeah, it's like the stigma will be, oh, he's coming from the NAIA. There will be people that'll say that. But look at what he has done.
We heard that argument there before, Bryan.
Yeah, we've heard it. I've heard it before.
And now you use a FAMU, you take it 2 FAMU things and put them together. I remember when Coach Gillespie came to FAMU, the argument was, would we accept a non-African American head coach?
Oh, there's that too. Yeah. See, I didn't even go there as the first thing.
And then I didn't say it was first, but it's going to be on the list.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got the NAIA to D1 jump without making a stop in between on the Division II level. So Here's the question, and this is always has to be the question when you're talking about NAIA coaches making the jump to NCAA. Obviously, the academic requirements and some of the other requirements at the NCAA level are a lot more stringent than they are at the NAIA level, which are a lot leaner. So the question becomes, can he recruit the same caliber of player on the NCAA level that he was able to recruit on the NAIA level? He can take a marginal player on the NAIA level. He may not be able to do that on all, the NCAA level. And UConn is making a comeback, Brian. It's down to 58-49. They've cut it to 9. But
That's good.
um,
Yeah, I heard
that
you mention that about the difference being the academic requirements, maybe of because I felt like NAIA and D2 are similar, but
but
then academically they definitely
they are
may
not.
not be similar.
Yeah. I believe y'all you need is a 2-2 to get into an NAIA institution.
Mm.
Well, to qualify, just like you have to go through the clearinghouse with the NCAA, all athletes have to go through the clearinghouse. I believe it's a 2-2 and maybe a 16 on your
What is that?
ACT.
What is it in the NCAA?
I don't remember exactly what it is, NCAA, but NCAA you also have to pass your core classes and everything else along with it. I'm not into the compliance piece where I'm at to know the deep weeds of it, but I did dabble in it when I was at the NAIA. That's why I kind of know those numbers off the top of my head.
I think when you can tell your alumni base that we hired a winner, that can speak volumes. When you can show up the statistics of being an 85% winning percentage, you know, at that level. I mean, yes, you have to be able to sell them on, hey, he's coming from a lower division. But there are plenty of examples in college of coaches coming from lower division. Case in point, well, no, I can't say that's another school in Alabama. But anyway,
Yeah.
you can show examples across, you can talk about examples across HBCU sports. You could talk about examples in college basketball where coaches have come from the non-Division I level after winning, being successful. Because that's the thing, you have to be highly successful. And I think winning 85%, going to the national championship game 3 of 5 years, that's what highly successful looks like.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. And also advantage, Jason Cable, Alabama State. Coach Wright has won and recruited in the state of Alabama, considering that he went to the national championship game while coaching at Talladega, which is about an hour and a half northeast of Montgomery, Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
So something else to keep in mind.
Yeah. Good point there, Doc. It's happened a couple times.
Doc, lest we forget Florida A&M. We just had an NAIA move up to
show the next one. That's what
Patrick
Steve
Crary.
Crary and Jackson before he came to Grambling.
Dante.
Yeah, Dante Jackson, I believe, was at NAIA prior to coming to Grambling.
Yes. So two cases within our conference.
Mm-hmm. I would love it. I mean, if I were Alabama A&M or State, excuse me, he would be on the. I would make a call.
Yeah,
I'd make a call.
I know Steve Gaither is putting his 2 cents in as far as what Ram Nation needs to do over there in North Carolina.
Well, yeah, no, he said there's a contingent of folks who have tossed about that name as being somebody worth, kicking the tires and finding out would there be any interest.
Yeah, his name is going to be on it should be on every HBCU job opening list right now, minimum. And it'd be on a lot of non-HBCU job opening lists also, Brian. Now, whether it is, that's a different story. Or how high up on the list is the name. I'm pretty sure he has an agent working some back channels.
Well, yeah, it's a good one. Good one. Speaking of coaching, the coaching carousel. Now, while Alabama State coach is resigning to take a new position, one of those opening positions appears to be over at Bethune-Cookman, where our good friend Live for Hoops via HBCU Game Day is reporting that Bethune-Cookman is expected to bring back a former star as their head coach. Demetra Frank is believed to be, according to Live, believed to be the next head coach at BCU. She was a former player from 2007 to 2012. When she graduated, she was the program's all-time leader in steals and second in points with over 1,500 points scored. I'm trying to see, where is she currently at? I think, she's on the staff with former Bethune-Cookman head coach and now current head coach at George Washington, Vanessa Blair Lewis. And so Frank was on the staff with her at Bethune-Cookman because she would have played for Lewis and then joined the staff. And then she went with her to George Washington, I believe. So Emmett. You say Emmett, yeah. Hey, I mean, look. So somebody's gonna make the call. You know. So yeah, we'll see. And then also in women's basketball coaching news, I saw this reported, and I know our good friend WSSU Ram Nation in the chat knows about this. Tiana Terry, the head coach at Winston-Salem State, received a contract extension of 2 years. Is the number of years on the extension. I didn't get the initial contract. Was it a 3-year or 5-year contract? I know we could probably find that out here via our insider, Ram Nation insider. Initial believed to be a 4-year deal. And in year 1, she had a historic season. So you definitely want to lock that up before schools down the road start trying to poach her away. And if they really want her, they're gonna have to drop some serious coin, because she seems to be committed to the Rams and Ram Nation right now. Wasn't worried about NCCU. And then sort of a side, this is just, me creating, drawing strings and looping things together, Drew, because, sometimes we have to do that. Recent story came out, reported by none other than Stephen J. Gaither on HBCU Game Day, and other sources, I think, picked up on this as well. Kentucky basketball picked up a commitment from Mason Williams. Who is Mason Williams, you ask? Well, he's the son of former NBA champion and current Jackson State head coach Mo Williams. Mason is a 6'2", 185-pound point guard at Tennessee Collegiate Academy. He's ranked just outside of the top 100 by 247 Sports. He is a top 15 point guard in the cycle, number 3 overall prospect in the state of Tennessee. I believe he had committed, if I saw the reports correct, that he had previously committed to go play with his dad at Jackson State. So now, Drew, you know, there once was a time where when a high-profile player, you know, went to a P4, P5 program, they held an assistant coaching job available for dad, especially if dad was a former player or someone who was knowledgeable, kind of a coach type, AAU guy. You know, kind of held, you know, the name DeJuan Wagner comes to mind. Right? I don't know, Drew. I'm not speculating on anything, but, you know, I've seen some recent departures of some top scorers over at Jackson State. I don't know. Any chance Mo Williams ends up at Kentucky? What would you, if you had to put some odds on it, Drew? How long or how deep would those odds be?
Whoo, Brian, you asking a whole lot there, man.
I know, I'm causing trouble. I'm causing trouble.
Yeah, you doing what you do well, and starting some crap, man.
I'm just asking the question.
And it's a legitimate question to be asked, Brian.
And I may not ask the question if I hadn't seen their number 2 and 3 score hit the portal. Maybe I wouldn't have been asking those questions. But when you start seeing your top scorers hit the portal, it makes you start thinking, you know, what's going on? What's the backstory? What's the real? And you know, the number 2 and 3 scores there, Israel. I don't know. I have to go to live, you know, to live for hoops to kind of see. But you just said you wouldn't call him. Look, we know the top scorer graduated or his eligibility's done. But I was thinking more so the second and third guy.
Well, Brian, like you said, makes you wonder if Mo is on his way out.
Did Mark Pope, the head coach of Kentucky, did he offer somebody from Big Blue Nation? I might have to ask some inquiries. Did Mark Pope, I think it's Mark Pope, the head coach of Kentucky, did he offer an assistant coaching position job to Mo Williams? Just curious. Just curious if he did or not.
I mean, it's something to consider. You know, once upon a time, like you said, coaches at that level followed their child, you know, and what just the coaches that follow their child, you know, they always had a job for mom, dad. You want to be closer to Junior? We got this office job for you over here at this company over here, this not-for-profit company or something along those lines. If he had not committed to playing for his dad initially, I would read nothing into it. The fact that he just decided, you know, to play at a different institution. Sometimes kids don't want to play for mom, dad. You know, sometimes kids don't want to stay at home. That's life. But when you commit to dad and then you decommit and go somewhere else, I guarantee you one thing. I bet you got a bag to go.
I'm sure the NIL is significantly. I mean, look, Kentucky gave everybody NIL last year. I mean, in the sum of $22 million in total, according to reports. So I don't know if Kentucky's going to have that. I mean, Kentucky investors are going to have to really look themselves in the mirror and say, do we really want to give basketball another $22 million after what they did this past year?
Oh, what they didn't do.
Right. I mean, so, but anyway, he apparently he decommitted back in December, and so he opened his recruitment back up. Good for him. Good for the kid. And so we'll see. We'll see. Look, I'm being petty, messy, but so we'll wait to see whether there's any smoke with that fire or whether it's just a congratulations to the young man. He's gonna get an opportunity to go to Kentucky. Dad is gonna be still coaching at Jackson State, and then we kind of keep moving forward. So,
Bryan, let's pay attention to if there's any movement after the coaches convention this week at the Final Four.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yep, Final Four this weekend in Indy. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Yes, I haven't said anything about anybody having issues. I'm just, sometimes you can be doing everything right, and then you want to leave. You could be like Will Wade, and you can be doing everything right at NC State. The NC State, everybody is doing everything right, and then all of a sudden you're out the door because an old girl friend she picks up the phone and calls you, and next minute you're like, well, some things we can use a little more money. Oh, you can't do that? Okay, well then that gives me my out. I'm just saying. All right.
I ain't fooling with you, Bryan.
I know.
We're gonna do these final polls now. We're gonna wait after
let's do it now and then go to the break. So here we go, folks. It's time to release our final BCSN top 5 rankings for men and women at the NAIA Division II and Division I levels. Just a quick update. It's a 8-point lead right now.
7
or 8.
7 on my screen.
Yeah. 5 minutes to go. Can UConn pull a comeback? Can they rally? All right, here we go. Top 5 NAIA women. So honorable mention or in the hunt belongs to Talladega, Xavier, and Paul Quinn. Just outside of the top 5. All right, here are the final rankings, top 5 in the NAIA women's. Number 5 is...
Oh, am I pushing?
Yeah, you could. That'd be great.
All right.
Wiley College. Congratulations, Wiley, of the HBCUAC, finishing in 5th. In 4th place...
Speaking of 5, Bryan, that's what the lead is down to for Duke.
Ooh, wow. And in 4th place... Arkansas Baptist. So prior to the final rankings, they were in 2nd place. They dropped from 2nd to 4th. In 3rd, let's see if 3rd stayed still. It is Oakwood. Oakwood, another HBCU AC team, finishing in 3rd this season. In 2nd place, Rust with the big jump. Rust College. Most likely, Russ did get into the NAIA tournament. So, Russ, congratulations, finishing 2nd. And I think I know who number 1 is. It's been the team that might have been number 1 all year. The Langston Lady Lions. We got to look, Drew. They might have run from wire to wire, number 1 ranked team.
No, Bryan. They might not have. They did.
Oh, okay. They did. Well, congratulations, Langston. Wire to wire, BCSN, NAIA national champions. All right, let's go over to the men's side. Just outside of the top 5 rankings, we've got Philander Smith, Talladega, Dillard, Sunos, that's Southern New Orleans, and Morris. Who's Morris?
Morris College.
Morris College. Okay. You got me there. I'm like, who? Morris.
Not Morris Brown.
That's the only Morris that I knew of until you just threw that up there. I'm like, Morris? Who's Morris? Okay. Well, my apologies, Morris.
They're in South Carolina.
Okay, man, I love the fact that you know this stuff. All right, I feel shame that I don't. All right, number 5 in the men's rankings, Stillman College finished the regular season at number 5, and that's where they end up. Number 4, Xavier, Louisiana, finished the regular season 4th ranked, and they were slightly ahead of Stillman in terms of the points. In 3rd, Arkansas Baptist, they slid a little bit from 2nd to 3rd into the postseason. I wonder why that is. We'll find out. Arkansas Baptist finishing 3rd. Congratulations, Arkansas Baptist. Number 2, Tougaloo Bulldogs move up, and they finish at number 2 in the BCSN top 5, and that means another wire to wire. The BCSN NAIA men's national champions, the Langston Lions. And this might be a first that I recall, Drew. A men and a women's program in the same division going wire to wire, number 1. That's pretty good.
You might be right on that one, Ryan.
All right, let's drop up to Division 2. Division 2 level. This is the one that many people are familiar with. In the Division 2 levels, just in the hunt, Bowie State, Virginia State, Claflin, Virginia Union, and Clark Atlanta, all finishing just outside of the top 5. You could say 6 through 10 if this were a top 10 final ranking. Number 5 is the Lady Dragons. Finished in 5th. Didn't they played in the championship game, if I'm not mistaken, of the SIC?
Yes.
Yeah, outstanding.
And we have a 2-point game on the screen.
Holy cow. 9-2 run in the last 225. Oh, wow. Here we go. All right. Number 4, Fayetteville State, the Broncos, CIAA champions, finishing number 4 overall. Number 3.
CIAA runner-up on the women's side.
Oh, sorry. We're in the women's categories.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes, thank you. Sorry. We're in the women's. Number 3, Miles, the Miles College Lady Golden Bears, finish in 3rd overall. 2nd place, Edward Waters. Finishing as they won the SIC East regular season and just, had a bad tournament opening game. And then even though they made the NCAA Division II, had an opportunity to possibly really win that game, but they lost. So after, I think they were on a 15-game winning streak heading into the SIC, they lose their last 2 games. I think that's the number. And number 1, after an historic regular season and conference tournament championship in the CIAA, they get all the way to they get 2 wins under the belt in the NCAA tournament, get to the regional, and 20 to 30 seconds away from advancing as regional champs. But still a great season for Winston-Salem State, the Lady Rams. Congratulations.
Just got to counter one thing, Steve. Edward Waters in the NCAAs played better than Miles did in the NCAA game. So
that game was very winnable for Edward Waters. They were this close to pulling off the upset.
Yes. Yeah. So you're right, but you are definitely right about it. The SIAC tournament. That was
shocking and head scratching.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now,
all right.
Now let's close
it out to the men
with the
Division II men's.
I'm sorry, I'm moving too head fast.
Division II men's rankings. Just outside of the top 5: Claflin, Clark Atlanta, Miles, Bluefield State, and Shaw University. Number 5, Tuskegee. What a season for Tuskegee. Tough loss in the championship game of the SIAC. Obviously, we know the controversy and stuff that hung out there that their coach was a part of. But Tuskegee finishes number 5 a week or after ending the regular season at number 4. Number 4, Virginia State. Virginia State, who ended up winning the BCIC. See, I got that right, Drew. They finished. They won the BCIC, so they finished with 2 games postseason, and maybe that was enough to kind of help push them into the top 5 to end the season. Number 3, Morehouse, the Maroon Tigers. Great season. Won the East Division. Won the conference title for the first time in 23 years. And then the scheduling gods were unkind, and they sent them down to play the number 1 team in the country. But anyway, still a great season for Morehouse. They finished at number 3. Number 2. Virginia Union. Well, there's a team that's interesting to see them drop from previously being number 1 down to number 2. Yikes. Virginia Union, great season. Let's see. Got a NCAA tournament win under their belt. Lost in overtime in round 2. They finished in second. And that means the number 1 team, who was not number 1 going into the end of the regular season, the Fayetteville State Broncos under head coach Hearn. His first year at Fayetteville State, not his first year of coaching, obviously. Took the Broncos and they won the CIAA. And did they have a competitive game in the NCAA tournament?
Yes.
Yeah, I think they may have lost. Well, I don't want to guess, but competitive game, right?
Yes. And I believe they won the South also regular season
by about 2 point difference. Interesting.
Well, 70-66, 120 left.
Woosah. All right. Here we go. Let's get to the D1 women's rankings in the top 5. Final rankings here of the season. Alcorn State, Alabama State, Grambling State, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Jackson State, all women's programs that finished outside of the top 5 this year. Number 5, Maryland Eastern Shore. We talked about them. Got a historic win in the WNIT against a Power 4 program. Lost in the second round to Youngstown State. Congratulations on a great season, UMES. Number 4, Southern University. Back-to-back SWAC champions, 3 of the last 4 years as well. Won an NCAA tournament game for the 2nd consecutive year, the only SWAC women's program to do that. And then they got some smell goods and then had to go play South Carolina. So
got some smell goods and then stunk it up.
Yeah, tough break. Number 3, Norfolk State. Interesting. Norfolk State invited to play in I think it was the WNIT at Norfolk State.
Yes, and lost.
Yeah, and lost. They did go to the championship game of the MEAC, again for the 5th consecutive year, but unable to complete the 4-peat. Yeah, they did lose at home in the WNIT. Number 2, wow, I'm flummoxed. Alabama A&M, wow. After a dominant regular season run of winning 17 in a row, very similar to what happened to Edward Waters at the end of the season, lost the opening round of the conference tournament to Southern, I believe it was.
Correct. The eventual SWAC champion.
Then had to fly to Utah, Provo, and lose, and they lost in the first round of the WBIT. So 2 losses to end the season for Alabama A&M. finishes number 2. I'm curious as heck. Well, no. Okay, now I know who number 1 is. Now I know. Okay, that means number 1 is the Howard Bison. Howard Bison. And Howard, of course, won the MEAC after, appearing in the championship 5 consecutive years, losing to Norfolk State the last 3. They get over the hump and they win. And then they get a, 14 seed in the tournament?
Yes.
14 seed in the tournament, get shipped out to go play Ohio State.
13?
It was a 13. It was a 13 seed. Because Ohio State was a 4 seed. Ooh, big time shot. We got a 1-point ball game with 50.5 seconds, according to my screen.
Behind, Brian.
Huh?
You're behind. You're behind me.
Okay.
So,
well, don't tell me that.
I won't tell you.
Okay. Let's see who's going to do it. It's always somebody that does it for Duke. Duke is Duke. Let's see if they run a set from Cam Boozer.
Yeah. And also,
Cam Boozer at the top of the key, going into lane, spin move, ridiculous.
Yeah. And
Cam
Aubrey
Boozer.
Parker did have a correction for us, Brian.
Uh-huh.
Alabama A&M beat FAMU in the first round, lost to Southern in the second round in the semis. They beat FAMU in the quarters.
Okay. Thank you, Aubrey. Appreciate that. Yes. Good point. Good point. I forgot that. You know what? FAMU played such a great game against Alabama A&M. But anyway, yes, semifinal loss. So they won 18 in a row. Then my correction. Then they ended up winning 18 in a row before losing their final 2 games of the year. Great season though for Coach Thornton. All right. Well, congratulations to Howard. Women. This will be interesting. Men's number 1 rankings. You guys in the chat, drop a note in there. Who do you think will be the number 1 team in the men's rankings? Just outside of the top 5, you got Prairie View A&M, Florida A&M, Alabama A&M, all the ag schools, Norfolk State and Texas Southern, all outside of the top 5.
Brian, is that the first time we've had all 3 of them back to back to back?
I think this is the first time that we have had all 3 of them inside of our rankings, meaning top 5, top 10. Might be the first time. Number 5, Morgan State Bears. I'm trying to think, what did Morgan State do significant that was worthy?
They broke up. They finished second in the regular season.
Finished second. I'm disappointed that Prairie View didn't have enough points, despite, at one point winning Prairie View won 9 of their last 11 games of the season.
Right. But they started so far down, Brian, even with the winning the tournament, which gets you bonus points, and the first full victory, which got you additional bonus points. They just started too far down, Brian.
Right. All right. We're starting to see a couple people seem to think that it'll be Howard that'll get that number 1 spot. All right. So we're 4 spots away. Let me see if you guys who said Howard are going to be correct. Number 4 is Southern. Southern played in the championship game of the SWAC basketball tournament after some big wins to get to the championship game, including a buzzer beater against Florida A&M in the semis, but not enough to advance to the postseason for Southern. They end the season in 4th. Number 3, Bethune-Cookman University, the regular season champs in the SWAC, the 1 seed. They lost in their first game in the quarterfinals to Prairie View. Talk about a bad matchup. They lose to Prairie View.
Hey, Brian.
Yeah.
Let's do the professional tees. Let's go to break before we release these last 2.
All right. We'll go to a break, come back, and let you guys know who the final 2 teams are in the Division I men's top 5 rankings.
And give y'all a chance to watch the end of this game.
You're watching the BCSN Sports Wrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app, as we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com and follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
When it comes to professional learning, teachers deserve better. From the leader in online learning, Stride brings you the Stride Professional Development Center, an on-demand library of mobile-friendly courses that gives teachers choice and flexibility, allowing them to learn anytime and anywhere. Our dynamic courses provide bite-sized learning and help educators advance their knowledge while also gaining professional development hours. It's time you take charge of your learning. Visit us today to get started.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
Well,
I am so glad we went to break.
Welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. I can't believe what I'm just seeing. Oh, Boozer, what are you doing? K. Boozer throws from a bad turnover, which leads to a 40-foot shot from the logo, Steph Curry range, 0.3. Is that enough time for a Christian Laettner catch, turn, and shoot?
Bryan is over. They've already lost. You just 10 seconds behind everybody else, Bryan.
They go to the Duke play.
It's
unbelievable
over.
Loss.
It's over.
Unfreaking believable. UConn knocks off Duke.
You get fouled right there.
Holy cow. Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to get fouled.
Make the free throw. Even if you miss them, they still have to come the length of the court. And all I'm going to say is that break.
One pass to there. You're supposed to just hold it, dribble. Why would he throw that? All he had to do was just hold on to the ball and dribble. Why give it up?
He should not have done the bounce pass. You have to have confidence in yourself. Be strong with the ball. Get fouled right there. Don't put the ball in harm's way.
They were coming to foul you. All you had to do was just hold on to the ball.
Be strong with the ball.
Yeah, you don't even have to be strong. You just have to just hold on to it.
And because
don't throw it.
Even if you miss both free throws, they have to come the length of the court.
Wow.
And if I get beat from the other side of half court, I live with that loss. I can't get beat from right there.
From
35 feet away.
Duke cost me
Did you do the one thing I told you?
Duke, yes, I did. But Duke cost me $200 to $300 today. That's all I'm gonna say. That's how bent I am right now at Duke. Duke cost me $200 to $300 today. Duke women and Duke men. God dog, man. Well, unbelievable.
All I know is That commercial started running about 2 seconds before I let out a big old poo-poo in my office, my home office, and poo-poo was
I
not the
love it.
word I used.
I love it how there's always people that run on the floor. But the clock stops and there's an instant timeout. So people get butthurt about, oh, they ran on the court. Well, look, there's a whistle as soon as the shot goes in. Man, dude shot that from the logo. That's ridiculous.
Man, I am done with basketball.
Man. Duke is Duke. That's why I didn't trust him. See, it always something happens. See, they've been playing with, what, Duke, but see, honestly, let's be real about something. Duke's been playing with their food all tournament, Drew. Have they not? They've been playing with their food all tournament. This was the one game where they came out like the better team for what, 17 minutes? No, 37 minutes. 37 minutes of this game, Duke played like, yo, we're not effing around with these dudes. And then in the last 3 minutes, they just got loose. They turned into young freshmen, call it coaching, youth, inexperience. I don't know what it is, but lack of poise, lack of patience, not being aware of the time and score. And I don't know if I don't know if it's too hurt. Did they get out coached, Drew? Tough to say. People will say it just because it's a cliche thing to say.
UConn just all of a sudden started making shots. They made tough shots.
At the end of the day.
And Duke went cold simultaneously.
Man. I mean, but you have kid. I mean, that Boozer kid, dude, all they do is win. That kid he's got so many games that he's supposed to know that. But
that was the younger brother, not.
No, they're twins, Drew. So,
that was not the one who's going to be the lottery pick.
Correct, because they went to the brother. But you're up 2. You're up 2 points. All you have to do is catch, hold. That is, oh man, coaches, Bryan, we don't have a fun time talking about that. UConn and Illinois.
What if we said, Bryan,
fun game?
The hardest thing to do is to hold a 20-point lead.
Look, when I say that, people think I'm crazy when I say that, Drew.
The hardest thing to do.
How many times have I said that?
Hold a 20-point lead and play with that same intensity in basketball.
In basketball, it is hard. Man,
let's get back to what we were doing, Bryan.
I'm shook. I'm shook now. I'm burning up all my Duke gear. I don't have any Duke gear, but anyway. Okay, well, here to cap off the end of the Division I men's rankings, NCAA.
Let's finish this, and then Doc has put something in the
breaking news
thing. Let's finish this poll and then get Doc's breaking news.
All right. So number 5 was Morgan State, 4 was Southern, 3 was Bethune-Cookman. Okay. The number 2 team is Tennessee State. That's right. Nolan Smith. Tennessee State, winners of the OVC regular season and the conference championship for the first time in a long time. Congratulations. I think 30 years. I think it was that. Something like that.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Does that mean that, oh man, the double-double for the men and the women? The number 1 team, the Howard Bison. How about that? The Howard Bison, who of course won an NCAA tournament game, played competitive game against Michigan in the opening of the first round, but more importantly, 3rd title in the last 4 years for Howard men, back-to-back titles. No, not back-to-back titles, but 3rd in the last 4 years for Coach Blakeney. Just doing it right. But the Howard women and Howard men. Howard is a basketball school, if you didn't know. Memo. Wow. That's heavy. All right, Drew. Well, congratulations to Howard, men and women. Congratulations to hold on, Drew. Hold on. Who was it on the Division II level again? Winston-Salem State women
Winston-Salem State and Fayetteville men.
Fayetteville State.
CIAA won both of them.
Right. And then on the NAIA level, congratulations to Langston, men and women.
And Steve, thanks to your Winston-Salem State Lady Rams, you prevented the trifecta on the double-double on all three levels, because Fayetteville State finished up there in the women's they went in the women's top 5.
All right. Breaking news coming from Dr. Kenyatta Cavill. Well, it appears that we have another head coaching resignation in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, as Dr. Cavill is reporting live right here on the BCSN SportsWrap that Texas Southern men's head basketball coach Johnny Jones, who had took Texas Southern to 3 consecutive NCAA tournaments, won the conference tournament 3 consecutive years. We were jokingly talking about the Texas Southern tournament being, or the SWAC being the Texas Southern Invitational, is going to be resigning and being an assistant coach at LSU under new head coach Will Wade.
Now, can I drop a nugget on that one?
Wasn't Jones previously at LSU? Go ahead. What's the nugget?
The nugget is, let's go back to our original conversation that we had today about the hottest coach out there. And I don't know if Doc people have already started putting together their list, but Chris Wright is from Dallas. And Chris Wright is very close to his family. That was one of the reasons from coming from Talladega to Oklahoma, because he was only 3+ hours away from Dallas in Oklahoma. So Dallas to Houston. I'm just pure
I love it. I love it.
Pure speculation.
Here's the rundown of, and here's, so let's put it into perspective. First off, with what Johnny Jones has done in his coaching career. At Texas Southern, in his 8 seasons, he has a 133 and 125 record at Texas Southern, 90 and 49 in conference play. While he has won 3 conference tournaments, 3 consecutive years, 2021, 2022, and 23. Texas Southern did win 2 first 4 basketball games in 21 and 22. They ended up losing in 23. But that is the Jones never won a regular season. The only, if you want to call it a blip, if you want to be that guy, the only thing he didn't do at Texas Southern was win a regular season.
And I believe they played in 2 additional SWAC championship games. I know they played in the last year's championship game when they lost to Alabama State, and I think they played in one in like 18, if I remember correctly.
His first year, wouldn't be surprised, because in his first year, Texas Southern went 24 and 14, 14 and 4 in the regular season, which was only which they were the 2 seed. They were second. Well, let me take that back. They finished second in the conference that year. They did go to the CIT semifinals that year in 2019. Of course, the following year was the COVID year of 1920, and 2020 season ended abruptly. So, yeah. But anyway, now here's the tie into LSU. For those of you who don't know or may not have known, Johnny Jones played at LSU from 1980 to 1984. Then he started his coaching career as an assistant under, guess who? Dale Brown at LSU from 84 to 97, where, of course, he coached legends like Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Jackson, who later became Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf. He was an assistant there at LSU for 13 years before he went on to be an assistant coach at Memphis, was an interim head coach at Memphis for a year. Then he went on to be an assistant at Alabama before taking his first head coaching job at North Texas, the Mean Green. He was there for, let me see, he was there for a good long time. 11 seasons, which included two conference championships and 2 appearances in the NCAA with North Texas. That's out of the Sun Belt. Then, after amassing 190 wins at North Texas, he went to his alma mater, LSU, where he was the head coach from 2012 to 2017. He was there for 5 seasons, won 90 games, 72 losses, 42 and 48 in conference games. He did take LSU to the NCAA 1 year, in year number 3. And he went to the NIT in year number 2. And then after his 5 years at LSU, then he spent 1 season away from coaching and then came back the following year. Actually, he was an assistant coach at Nevada. And then he came back to Texas Southern in 2018. Again, under his belt, he's won 5 tournament titles, 2 in the Sun Belt, 3 in the SWAC. Yeah, so again, according to the report that you see right there from Dr. Kenyatta Cavill, Johnny Jones becomes the second SWAC head coach to resign from his head coaching position to take an assistant coaching position in one of the Power 4 programs.
Bryan, second coach today.
Second coach today. Wow. Wow, that's a big time story. So he will be a part of Will Wade's new staff at LSU.
So Bryan, with this being Palm Sunday, I see a couple of SWAC basketball coaches are getting their palms greased by moving on to the Division I levels.
Well, what's interesting about these 2 moves today, not only for Madlock, who goes back to Memphis, where he was for 3 years, and you see Johnny Jones, who goes back to where he was for 3 different stints. I mean, one obviously as a player, as an assistant coach, and as a head coach.
I mean, he spent 20 years on that campus.
Exactly.
21 to be exact.
So
22 years.
And you know what? Here's me drawing that thin line. The athletic director who hired him no longer in the position. The way they have Texas Southern has unceremoniously tried to distance themselves from Kevin Granger by removing his retired number from the rafters there.
His name, his image, and his likeness.
Yeah, I mean, I can see somebody putting it together and saying, Will Wade saying, "Hey, Johnny, come home." And Johnny may kind of be like, you know what? Now's a good time. There's a lot of change happening at Texas Southern. Some of it I don't like, maybe. I mean, here's me just talking out loud. I see it as a perfect opportunity to get out. Now's a good time to get out. Yeah, exactly. 2 excellent coaches leaving the conference. And still the senior coach in the conference is Byron Smith.
Byron Smith.
Prairie View. He came in a year before Johnny did at Texas Southern. And obviously with his tournament run, Smith ended up getting a contract extension. Wow. Interesting developments in the SWAC. Well, we'll be talking about this all week, I'm sure. Make sure to pay attention to your news articles and all of your HBCU content on HBCUGameDay.com. Be looking out again for HBCUSports.com and HBCU Legends.
Steve's probably writing away right now.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. But you heard it here first. Breaking news thanks to Dr. Kenyatta Cavill. Boots on the ground right there at Texas Southern. Appreciate Doc for coming in. Hey, this one right here. Look at this. Hey, you go ahead, EA. You said it. Why shouldn't the University of Alabama be considering? They surely should. They definitely should be kicking the tires and exploring how much of a buyout is it and what can we get for Dawn Thornton after what she has done in 2 seasons at Alabama A&M. Let me see. What's Edwin's question? Do we think any SWAC coaches will be taking them? Well,
can I throw a name out?
Of course, sure.
For the Alabama State job.
Okay.
Fred Watson.
Where is he now?
Miles.
How long has he been there?
He came to Miles in 2018. He was previously at Benedict, and he's he will pass 500 all-time victories next year.
That should be definitely a name worth mentioning, and being the fact that he's in the Alabama area, has recruited the Alabama area, knows the state, definitely should be high on the list.
And I'm gonna throw out his rival also, Benji Taylor.
How long has he been at Tuskegee?
Let's see. We left in 14 to 18. I think they got there the same year.
Wow.
To their institutions. 18.
Let me ask this.
I think those are two obvious choices within the state, and we know if it was the other Alabama school, they would be up on the list because we've seen them poach coaches from Tuskegee and Miles to go to A&M.
Does it matter that Dawn Thornton has not won the conference yet? Won a tournament. I mean, obviously she's won the regular season, but the tournament. Good question brought up by Israel. I don't know if it matters. Do you think it matters, Drew?
Does it matter that Chris Wright has not won the NAIA title after being in the championship game for 3 of the last 5 years?
But he's won 85% of his games. He's been to the title 3 times in the past 5 years. Sure, you haven't won it, but I mean, is getting there hard enough?
You just answered the question, Ryan.
So you don't think so?
It depends on where you at and what are the goals of the institution.
Mm-hmm.
If you want it to engage your fan base and to compete every year, Dawn Thornton is your lady. Just like if you want to compete on the national level every year, Chris Wright is your guy. And you have to have the faith as a fan of those two people that they are going to get over the hump sooner or later. If anything, what can I do as an alum to give them a couple of more dollars so they can go out and get what they need to get over the hump? That should be what those two institutions and the fans of those institutions are thinking.
Fascinating perspective there. Winning championships. How does winning championships set you up for success versus winning percentage? Israel says you have to have won the conference. So she won the regular season conference. I would argue with
the
you
marathon
that
is a lot tougher than the sprint.
Thank you. I would tell you it's tougher winning the regular season, and she did it in spectacular fashion, winning 17 in a row after losing the first game. And I mean, you lost in the semifinals to a team that you didn't lose to just a random team. You lost in the semifinals on a basket with a second to play to the team that eventually won and then went on to win the NCAA. So you didn't lose the chumps. You didn't lose to, the Girl Scouts. You lost to the second best team in the SWAC, arguably.
Since we were together with track and field yesterday, Bryan, let's put this in a track and field perspective. Running the distance race is totally different than running a sprint, which requires different training. Both of them require different training. Both of them are challenging. There are very few people who can consistently win a marathon and win a sprint. You just talked about Johnny Jones, Bryan.
Mm-hmm.
How many regular season titles did he have?
None.
He's a different type of runner. There are very few. Even Tamika Reed and all her success. How many times did she win both? Once. Doing all them runs with Jackson State. Once, twice, maybe. That they won both regular season and tournament.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to do both, everybody. Obviously, the prestige comes with the tournament championship. But as somebody who's been on that sideline, it's a hell of a lot tougher to win them 16, 18, 20 games that you got to win in the regular season. Doing all those injuries and everything else. Because the injury in the tournament, trust me, would take you out. I've lived it. I've lived it when you've had one of the best teams. And somebody sprains an ankle, blows a knee out, or something else along those lines. A fluke shot like we just saw with UConn and Duke.
Jesus.
Anything can happen over that span. So you have to take both. To quote the immortal Carlos Brown, all games matter, Bryan.
Well, man, that's tough. That's some breaking news right here, man. That is some big time news. Again, if you're just popping in and just catching up with us, we already know and saw the reports about Alabama State head coach Tony Madlock resigning, expected to join the Memphis staff under Penny Hardaway. And then we had a little bit earlier, Dr. Kenyatta Cavill of Dr. Cavill's HBC Inside the HBCU Sports Lab came on in the chat and said that Johnny Jones is going to be resigning at Texas Southern to take a position on staff with Will Wade at LSU. So, wow, that's huge news. Okay.
Brian, one last one on since we talking
Yeah,
coaching news.
Yeah, because we got about
we not gonna get through all the topics.
Well, we can hit them. We can touch on them quickly. We don't have to be long winded about them. We
right.
You know, we got 10 minutes, so let's kind of run through what we got. Let's go.
The other ASU Friday, that being Albany State University, named Rodney Mays as their head basketball coach.
Okay, I missed that. Yep, I forgot about that one. And who is he? Give a little background if you can.
Most recently, he served as head coach at Lyon College, his first head coaching opportunity, where he successfully guided the program through its transition from NAIA to NCAA Division III, while maintaining consistent success on the court. Prior to Lyon, Mays gained experience both at the NCAA Division II and NAIA level, including stops at West Georgia and Point University. At West Georgia, he was part of a program that compiled an 86-61 record, earned multiple NCAA tournament appearances, and competed for conference championships. At Point, he helped lead the program to an Appalachian Athletic Conference championship and a national top 25 ranking.
Okay. All right. Just kind of hitting on a few other news and notes that we wanted to get to and make mention of today. Spring Hill University or
college.
Spring Hill College, who has been a member of the SIAC since how long?
Since they, pretty much, I think since they moved up to the Division II level.
2?
Yeah, because they were at NAIA at one point in time. They used to be in the GCAC.
Okay. Spring Hill is going to be, it was announced earlier this week that they're going to be leaving the SIC, heading to the GSC, the Gulf, what is that? The Gulf Sports Conference?
Gulf South,
which is where like Valdosta State is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which they only have like how many schools in that? That thing was like 6 or 7.
No, they only have 4 football playing schools. They still have a full conference. They just only have football. 4 schools remain play football. That being Valdosta State, West Alabama, Delta State, and West Florida. Rumors are West Florida is moving up to the division.
I think that announcement's coming Monday. Yeah.
West Florida
moving to FCS. They're moving to FCS.
Yes. So, and just to give some background on this story, Spring Hill, the only non-HBCU that competes in an HBCU conference on either level, all 3 levels to be exact, decides to go to the Gulf South Conference, which is a better fit not only for them geographically but culturally.
That last part
for Spring Hill College. What does this mean for the SIAC? SIAC after 26-27 will drop down to 14 schools. Yes, Spring Hill is in Mobile, Alabama. You are correct, Zach. Drops them down to 14 institutions for as of right now. You know, there's always talk of expansion with the SIAC. Spring Hill has dominated 3 particular sports.
I think we said we came up with about 4
particular sports. 4 particular sports.
5 men and women's tennis. So I'm counting those separately.
Okay, but they have dominated, like you said, men and women's tennis. They have dominated
volleyball,
baseball, softball, and volleyball. What does this mean? And not to sound like that guy, Brian, but I'm supposed to be that guy now.
Opportunities.
And HBCU can win some of these championships again and compete in the national tournament representing the HBCU conference.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm gonna let you guys read between those lines. I won't say it publicly, but a lot of people have read between those lines on that one.
I'm just
No,
kind of. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say number two brings up the interesting debate on Valdosta State. Whether those talks will resume, whether they will get hot and heavy. Because let's be real, Valdosta State's in a bad situation, at least for football, because the Gulf South will no longer have enough institutions to qualify for the NCAA playoffs. Valdosta State, West Alabama, and Delta State will have to make a decision on whether to go independent or find a new conference home. Geographically, they can go to one of two conferences. The Conference Carolinas, which is the new conference that is in Division Two, in D2 football, Region 2, Super Region 2, or go to the SIAC. Valdosta State geographically fits within the footprint, well within the footprint of the SIAC, as does West Alabama, which is in Livingston, Alabama. But the question is, culturally, is that a good fit? Not only for those institutions, but for us in the SIAC. Time will tell where each of those conversations go. I know one thing's for sure: Valdosta State is not moving up to the FCS ranks. From everybody who I've talked to at Valdosta State, and as far as I know, West Alabama is not in any type of position to move up either. So it's going to be interesting and to see what that. Maybe Zach may know something. So
let me, if I can, I'm looking at the article or just a little bit of the release from Spring Hill College president on their announcement of joining the Gulf South Conference. They called it a defining moment for the university. Now, as I'm reading this article, at no point do I see them say anything about, thank you to the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, right? I don't see anything like that. But
the SIAC was the only people who would take them when they originally moved up. They wanted to join the Gulf South. The Gulf South told them, "Hell no, you don't play football," because that's what the Gulf South Conference was at that point. Was a football conference.
Interesting. Spring Hill will begin competing in the Gulf South Conference during the 27-28 academic year. So that'll be interesting, the fact what this next year looks like for them competing in the 26-27 season in the SIAC, which will be their last. I think there's one other thing of note that I saw in this. Spring Hill will now be the 5th Alabama-based member of the conference, along with Alabama Huntsville, Auburn University Montgomery, Montevallo, and West Alabama. So among the SIAC, they have won 16 SIAC tournament championships since 2018. Men's golf and tennis teams took home titles in 2025. Softball team became tournament champs in 24 and 25. As competition for the SIAC Commissioner Cup, the men's and women's tennis teams finished second in 24 and 25. The women's team won the award during the 23-24 season. Let me see. Since being established in 1970, the 26-27 season will be the 57th competition season for the GSC, the Gulf South Conference. So that's just a little bit of a background there. But it's just interesting that, you see in that article, and again, I don't have the full, I was trying to see if I saw the full quote from Spring Hill, but kind of interesting that no mention or, hey, thanks. I'm looking back here to 2013 is when the NCAA let me see, the NCAA officially accepts Spring Hill College for Division II.
And when did they join the SIAC? 2014.
Yeah. Yeah, they reading the quote. This is a historic day for Badger athletics and for Spring Hill. We worked diligently over the last 2 years to make this next phase in the upward evolution of Badger athletics a reality. We are thrilled to be joining the SIAC and NCAA Division II. Man, how quickly things change. All right, well. Also, I want to give a shout out and some recognition to Florida Memorial University, as they hired their first ever female athletic director. Reading here from Tali Carr's article on HBCUGameDay.com on Wednesday this past week, Florida Memorial announced Chandra Dorsey Felton Dorsey Felton as its new director of athletics. She becomes the first female athletic director in the history of Florida Memorial University and its athletic department. Now, President William McCormick praised the decision and what it represents for the future, saying, quote, "Today marks a historic and defining moment for Florida Memorial University. It is with great pride and unwavering confidence that I announce the appointment of Chandra Dorsey Felton as our first female athletic director. Chandra has demonstrated exceptional vision, discipline, and a deep commitment to the holistic success of our student athletes, both on and off the field." And I believe she previously or had been serving in the role as the interim athletic director since October 1st of 2025. And of course, for those who may not be aware, Florida Memorial University has 13 intercollegiate athletic programs. She has overseen them, athletic compliance and eligibility, and student athlete development initiatives. So congratulations to A.D. Dorsey Felton. And we were talking about, Drew, how many female athletic directors, HBCUs, is that you were saying the majority of them are in the SIAC?
That I know of. There are plenty in the SIAC.
Yeah.
Quickly going down. Fort Valley.
You're gonna try to name them off the top of your head.
I'm gonna give you the schools.
Dangerous here.
Fort Valley, Albany State, Ever Waters. Keep on coming up. Central State, that's 4. That's at least 4. I'm off the top of my head that in the SIAC. You've got Tiffany at Virginia State. That's another one on the Division II level. So we know of at least 5 on the Division II level. I know Dillard has one on the NAIA level. It makes 6. Chandra makes 7. So I can't think of any in the Valley has one. Mississippi Valley has one. That's 8. So that's just 8 that I could think of off the top of my head there, Brian.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff. A couple other news and notes to make mention of happening this weekend is the HBCU showcase for well, let me go back. This weekend happening in Ashburn, Virginia, is the NFL's 2026 HBCU Showcase and International Player Pathway Pro Day, which is a 3-day evaluation in which, in partnership with the Black College Football Hall of Fame and NFL International, it's an opportunity for these athletes to showcase in a pro day setup their skills to NFL scouts, and it's a host of a who's who of some top name guys, many guys that you're familiar with. It's a long list of names. I mean, I don't know, in total it's about at least about a good 40 to 50 guys. People like William Atkins of South Carolina State, offensive tackle Charles Davis and Ashton Grable of Florida A&M, Quincy Ivory, edge rusher from Jackson State, defensive lineman Bryce Cage of Grambling, wide receiver Jordan Smith, of South Carolina State. The list covers players from the MEAC, SWAC, SIC, CIAA, and independent HBCU programs. 47 HBCU players are part of this combine. I saw we had Zach in the room. I wondered, has Zach heard any buzz from the scouting from this combine? I'd be curious to kind of catch up to one of his shows and kind of see what that looks like. And I know there have been a lot of programs that had their pro days. I know Florida A&M had a pro day on, what day was that? Thursday? And I think maybe some other schools have had their other colleges across the country are doing pro days right now. Also, while spring practices are happening. So, yeah, just a great opportunity for those HBCUs. Maybe next week, if you didn't get a chance to catch the Carlos Brown show on Saturday, go back and check it out. You can it'll be available on the BCSN Pod Zone, which is our podcast platform, a little bit later tonight. But I'm curious what Carlos and the panel thought about the new TV deal that Southern University signed with WBRZ TV, which is creating a similar media model that already exists that TV station does with LSU. Of course, LSU is right there in the backyard with Southern, both schools up in Baton Rouge. And let's see, just kind of reading the article here on Game Day, HBCU Game Day. For years, WBRZ has served as a key media partner for LSU Athletics, the official news station and its primary affiliate of the LSU Sports Television Network. And so a similar model is being put together here for Southern, which now WBRZ will hold official partnership rights with both schools. Of course, the partnership goes beyond coverage. WBRZ confirmed it will invest directly in Southern's mass communication program, providing resources to improve student training, access to modern media tools, and professional development. Yeah, we'll get into maybe kind of look a little bit more into what all that entails. But I've seen some real interesting articles about media entities. One school in particular at the at a Big 12 school that has really done a great job of creating a communications department in their athletic program that captures everything about game day. You know, the games, post-game, pre-game shows, post-game shows. They've done a great job. It's a model that I've had in mind for years, but takes the resources to be able to implement it. And but we'll maybe get into that a little bit more next week, another week. All right, let's close the show, Drew, by talking and going through the debut of the BCSN Division I. Nope, no baseball and softball ranking.
I don't think I finished off the graphic. Hold on, let me make sure I finished off the graphic before we do that. I got the numbers, but I'm not 100% sure I had a chance to finish off. One of them I did, one of them I didn't. I can't remember which one it was. Hold up.
EA, you're asking questions that I can't answer for you. It is an interesting question, though, how that works with that's maybe a Carlos Brown. Maybe I'll reach out to Carlos and find out. Tune in Wednesday night. Maybe it's a topic that we approach on Wednesday. Emmett, what do you want to know about the Morehouse relays? They were this past weekend. Anybody that we should be aware of? I will tell you on the women's side, Ajane Latchinson, I think is the young lady's name, of Tuskegee. She was one of the standout performers that comes to mind on the women's side. There was a young man, a freshman from Russ College, Kamal Benjamin,
dominated the
decathlon. Yeah, dominated it. I think he finished first in 7 of 10 events.
Okay. All right, Brian, I have baseball and softball ready. Let me download them so I can upload them.
Well, let's take a short break because I got to take a pit stop, and that'll give you time to load those graphics. And when we come back, we'll show you the debut of the BCSN top 5 rankings for softball and baseball for 2026. Hang tight with us. Shouldn't be too long. You're watching the BCSN Sports Wrap right here on the Black College Sports Network. We'll be back in just a moment.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically Black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
Are you hungry for authentic Caribbean food like jerk chicken, oxtail, red snapper, shrimp, tofu, and rasta pasta? Well, find your way over to Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta.
Them belly full, but we hungry.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, open daily from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And on Friday and Saturday, we're open till 4 a.m. Come to Mango's and put some spice in your life.
So we've got a good thing going.
Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, 180 Auburn Avenue, right next to Royal Peacock in downtown Atlanta. For more info or directions, call 404-698-3992 or log on to mangoscaribbeanrestaurant.com. For instant coupons, text MANGOS to 313131. Mango's Caribbean Restaurant, authentic Caribbean cuisine.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the BCSN Sports Wrap. AD and Bryan here. We're going to try to wrap up the show here with the debut.
All right, hello. Maybe upload this updated slide, Bryan, and we can roll with it.
Again, just to give everybody a heads up, in the men's, we got the Final Four set in the NCAA. It'll be UConn and Illinois, Arizona and Michigan. In the chat room, what's your championship game look like? Obviously, when we come on the air next Sunday, we'll know what the championship game will be. But you guys put who's your championship game? And just a quick update: BCSN Sports Wrap Challenge, as predicted, Drew. I am actually now in second place behind G. Kaforji, Mr. Kaforji, G. Kaforji. Let me see. He picked UConn, has Arizona and Michigan. He surpassed me. I, of course, have Illinois, Arizona, and Michigan. But right behind us, let me see. That's at total points. Yeah. He is 30 points ahead of me. And E. Fuller is in third. So we all picked Arizona. And so we all have Arizona, and we all picked 3 teams to get to the Final Four. Of course, I don't believe I picked. I'm looking at my bracket here. Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Oh, crap. Yeah. My national championship game, I did pick Illinois. So I could really win this thing if Illinois can beat UConn. I had Illinois playing in the championship game against Arizona. Wow. That's good on me. Didn't think I did that. And actually, in one of my, I entered 2 money contests, right, Drew? I'm actually sitting in first place right now. I think I can win this thing. If Illinois is what I need to bring it home. Come on, Illini. Let's go.
And for some reason, this doggone slide won't load like I wanted to, Bryan. So we just going to do the wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, today.
Yeah, okay. So we'll just get the final numbers. G Boom, you're going with an Arizona, Illinois final as well, I see. Good for you.
All right. You ready?
We are ready. Okay. This is Division 1 and Division 2, right?
No, just Division 1. Division 2 wasn't ready.
Okay. So this is the debut of the Division 1 softball and baseball rankings. Here, the BCSN top 5. These are computer generated rankings. What are you starting with? Softball?
Yes.
All right, here we go. softball all together here.
Oops, that's the wrong one. That's the Division II. Well, we got it up here. We can go ahead and do it.
Well, it looks like we do have Division II. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but you're saying we don't have Division I then?
Then I loaded the wrong image. So
Okay.
let me find the Division I one.
All right. Well, I'll let me see if I can filibuster while you're doing that. Maybe I can go to the SIC and take a look at and again, you know, many of you guys, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but obviously we only have 3 primary HBCU baseball conferences. That's the MEAC, SWAC, and the HBCU AC. But in softball, not only do those 3 conferences play, but we also have the MEAC and the CIAA all playing. So we've got the Big 5 in softball. We really need our baseball programs to come back. All right. So as you can see, just outside of the top 5 are Lincoln, Bowie, Edward Waters, Winston-Salem State, and Miles. A host of we got 3 CIAA schools, 2 SIACs. The bottom, or starting from 5 to 1, Savannah State in 5th place, Bluefield State in 4th, Virginia Union in 3rd. Then we get into the SIAC teams where you have Albany State in 2nd. Albany State, who currently has an overall record of 21-6, 11-4 in conference play. And then you have Tuskegee, who's in 1st place. Tuskegee with a 23-7 overall record, 14-1 in conference play. And I apologize, I mentioned Savannah State. Savannah State, they're in the SIC, of course. They have a 20-10 record, 11-7 in the East Division. Let me see how quickly I can pull up the CIA softball standings here. CIAA softball standings are as follows, as mentioning there, Bluefield State and Virginia State. What's interesting, Bluefield State's overall record is, let me make sure I'm on the right year. Yep, is 6-13 overall. Not a very good record, but they're in 4th place. Virginia Union.
It stays skewed right now as the CIAA plays a wacky schedule that they play.
Yeah, and Virginia Union is 4-8 right now overall. I mean, they, you know, Bowie State is the only team in the conference to have won 10 or more games. I'd have to go look in the schedules. I don't know what they're doing over in the CIAA. But anyway. All right. Do we have Division I? All right. Oh, this computer's gonna piss me off already. But anyway, in the hunt, it's unbelievable. This computer, what is it doing? In the hunt, South Carolina State, Southern, Texas Southern. At number 5, Norfolk State. Number 4, Florida A&M, which is crazy. Best team in the SWAC. But anyway, Jackson State is in 3rd, a team that lost to FAMU 2 out of 3. But anyway, Howard University in 2nd, another team that lost to FAMU. I think at least they split a pair of games up in Atlanta. Anyway, and Prairie View A&M ranked 1st, just unable to play FAMU because they're in the soft West division. But anyway,
they're dominating that Southwest though.
They again, it's soft. When that's like saying, hey, anyway, let me not get too graphic. It's just soft like Charmin. There you go. But anyway, congratulations. PV starts the season in 1st. Again, I'm not going to overreact, and I'm going to tell you because, as you all know, if you've been following us long enough, the computer. Again, these are computer rankings, EA. Come on now. You know you've been with us long enough, EA. Don't act like this is the first time that you have seen the
especially
BCSN.
at the start of the season.
At the start of the season is always special. It's the special, it's just how the computer reads the numbers, strength of schedule, opponents, blah, blah, blah.
Conference records.
Yes. So relax. It'll work itself out. All right. The pressure's on FAMU.
It gets it's always right at the end.
Israel, isn't the pressure really on Prairie View? Prairie View is the team that hasn't even made it to the championship game the last couple of years. They're the team that gets eliminated after the first 2 games in the SWAC tournament. I think the pressure is on them to actually make it to the championship game, or how about a game away from the championship game?
Because it's always 3 East and Prairie View.
Exactly. Get to the final 2, Prairie View. Come on, but no, it's on FAMU. Okay, that's fine. We'll deal. We don't duck smoke. That's good. Okay. Let's go over to baseball. We only have Division I?
Yes.
All right. Division I baseball. Jackson State and Norfolk State just outside of the top 5. Number 5 is Florida A&M, who actually tied with UAPB.
And Brian, let me back up on all of these that we've done thus far. These are games through yesterday, so they do not include today's results in the numbers because I have to cut it off at enough time to create everything.
Okay. Well, UAPB and Florida A&M are tied for 4th with a similar score of 63.63. Grambling State in 3rd, 65.14. Texas Southern is in 2nd, and Bethune is in 1st. Yeah, I'm not gonna mention that FAMU beat UAPB 2 out of 3. Not gonna mention that. We're not gonna get into any of all that because it's the first week. I'll let the market kind of correct itself in the SWAC standings, but it is what it is. So, congratulations. I do say Bethune-Cookman legit squad. So, and my evaluation of some of those other schools will be when you play. I mean, FAMU swept Alabama State, which was kind of shocking, but maybe not as strong as we thought. But when I see West schools play Bethune and FAMU, that's how I judge whether they're good or not. So we'll see. All right, Texas Southern. What was that Texas Southern? Who was the series you were you were talking about? A series that you were paying attention to is Grambling and Texas Southern? Did they play this weekend?
That sounds.
Was that the SWAC baseball schedule?
I think that was it. That was gonna be a huge series.
Yeah, you said you got some hot water for that computer. Hey man, look, I told you the computer is on one early. That's all I'm gonna tell you. The computer is on one early. Looking at the standings, Texas Southern, who they play this weekend? Oh yeah, they played Grambling. They took 2 out of 3. Took 2 out of 3. BCU swept Jackson State. That's not surprising yet.
So Texas Southern and FAMU and Pine Bluff are all tied for 2nd at 7-2.
Exactly. Okay, what's
coming up this weekend? Oh,
yep.
No,
go ahead if you got it.
Coming up this weekend and the SWAC, and looks like we're going
Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Saturday because of Easter.
Sunday.
Except for one that's Sunday. Southern's actually going to play on Sunday. You've got Jackson State at Grambling, Texas Southern at Alabama A&M, Florida A&M at Prairie View A&M, UAPB at Alabama State, Valley at Alcorn. Yeah. And looks like UAPB and Alabama State are going to double up on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah. So which series intrigues you, Brian? And the other series that I did not mention is Bethune traveling to Southern.
That's tough because I think you have right now, if I look at the top 6 schools, which are Bethune, Texas Southern, FAMU, UAPB, Grambling State, and Jackson State. I think they all play the bottom 6.
No. Jackson State, Grambling go head up.
Okay, well then that might be the game that is the most intriguing. That might be the most intriguing game. That'll be the game I may want to watch.
I'm gonna be interested in Pine Bluff and Alabama State.
Alabama State did not look good this weekend in Tallahassee, Drew. So I don't know.
But they ran up against one of the Florida teams. This is actually going to be a more gauge of me to see if that was just a blip on the radar for Alabama State, or is Arkansas Pine Bluff a true contender?
Well, UAPB has the 3rd best pitching in the conference right now. The hitting is about middle of the road in terms of the conference numbers. No, I tend to think, I mean, we're at the teams that play 9 games, wow. So that's 3 series, right? Okay,
not
so
quite halfway.
We're not at the halfway, not at the halfway point yet.
Well, we'll be a third. We're about at the 3rd point, almost at the 1/3 point.
I think Arkansas Pine Bluff is legit. Just looking at the 9 conference games, we have the 2nd best batting average, 2nd best pitching numbers. That's pretty impressive. The only other team that is top 3 in both of those categories is Bethune-Cookman. So, and those 2 losses by UAPB, guess who they came to? FAMU. Yeah.
But those other wins were against who? Valley and Alcorn. That's why I need this Alabama State series for me to see if this UAPB team is real.
Okay, that makes sense. Even though, Alabama State is tied with Valley. I mean,
It's Alabama State. I'm sorry, though.
Okay. All right.
Right now, UAPB has been a product of their schedule.
Who did Valley got a sweep over the weekend? Who did Valley sweep? Texas Southern. Whoa. No, hold on. I read that wrong.
No.
Alabama A&M is who they swept.
A&M.
Okay. A&M. Yeah, okay. Look at Valley. When's the last time Valley had a series sweep in the SWAC? Somebody go do the data on that.
Emmett has a couple of games that he likes.
Mm-hmm.
He says he likes Bethune and Southern.
I could enjoy that. If I were living in Southern, if I were in Baton Rouge, I would go to that. That'll be that should be a good one.
Yeah. He's also said that UAPB is legit, but I'll be interested in Bethune versus Southern. All right, so same thing. Like I said, this is a prove it to me series for UAPB. And softball wise, Brian.
Yeah.
Let's go to softball.
Again, I can't understand when or why the softball coaches or whomever won't get on a similar schedule like baseball, but
Yeah. All right. Softball. Southern, Texas Southern. These are all Fridays. But yeah, looks like they're going single Friday, double Saturday. Most of these are going to be single Friday, double Saturday. So you got Texas Southern at Texas Southern, Prairie View at UAPB, Bethune at Valley, Alabama A&M at Florida A&M, Grambling at Alcorn, Jackson State at Alabama State. Who you got?
Which one in particular?
Yeah. And quickly, before you give me that, let me go down the standings. On the east side, Florida A&M is first, 10-2. Jackson State's 9-2. Alabama State comes in third, 7-5. Bethune-Cookman 6-6, followed by Alabama A&M at 3-8, and Valley 0-12. In the West, PV comes in 11-1. Texas Southern 8. Texas Southern and Southern both 8-4. Arkansas Pine Bluff 4-6. Grambling 3-9. Alcorn is 0-10. Now, Ned, I've given you that. Brian, where are you going at with your picks for the week?
Series picks?
Yes.
Oh wow.
I'll start off if you want me to.
Yeah. I'll follow behind you. Go ahead.
I mean, I just said Southern Texas Southern were tied for second, tied for second in the West. So that's obviously got to be the top series in the West.
Give me. I'll take Texas Southern winning the series.
Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you, Brian. Well, on the east side, Jackson State, Alabama State.
Wait a minute. Which weekend? Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm sorry. I'm still on the baseball page. Good.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there like, what? Something's not matching up here. I'm looking at something wrong.
Yeah, I'm on softball.
Okay. I'm sorry. I heard you say that, but for some reason I was still on the baseball page. All right. Okay. So game. Don't want no part of that Bethune Valley. Jesus. I guess Jackson State, Alabama State. Jackson State,
always,
Alabama State. Yeah.
It's always good with the two teams who trail. You have to play each other because that gives them an opportunity to beat up on each other.
Exactly. And then Southern has won 7 in a row. And you were talking about the Texas Southern game?
Yes.
Yeah. I think two teams in second place. Yeah, that's the matchup right there. Southern's won 7 in a row. That's the best winning streak of anybody in the conference right now, either East or West Division. So can they keep that winning streak going? All right. Okay, Drew. Well, I think it's time to check out and tell everybody what football? Who's playing
UFL.
football on who?
UFL.
Oh, is this the opening weekend?
Yes, it was. Yes, it is. This was the final game of the opening weekend.
Oh man, I didn't even know they had other games going on during the week.
Yeah, I think it was 1 Friday, 2 yesterday, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But you wouldn't have known because you were stuck with me all weekend.
Exactly. All right. Well, hey folks, do me a favor if you would, please go download the BCSN Pod Zone. It's the podcast platform with all of the shows on the Black College Sports Network. You can find it on Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple, Google Podcast, iHeartRadio, if I haven't already said that. Everywhere you get podcasts, just search BCSN Pod Zone. Make sure you're following us on social media, the Black College Sports Network, Facebook, X, Instagram. If you want to make a donation to the show, $ MyJBN, my BCSN on Cash App. It's always a cup of coffee is appreciated. Hit the thumbs up and the like button as you exit if you haven't done so already. And as always, we appreciate you guys in the chat. Love you, respect you. Have a great week. We'll be paying attention and watching and seeing what, those of you whose brackets are still alive. I'm proud to say I have 3 teams in the Final Four, and I'll be rooting hard for the Arizona Wildcats and the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Drew, last words?
Damn it, Duke.
Well said. All right, for AD Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. Peace out, everybody. God bless you.
Travel light, everybody. We'll holla.